Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host Phil from underKG.com, and this is the latest from OnePlus 6. It's simply called the 6, OnePlus 6. It's got the latest chipsets at a pretty affordable price, even though they have been constantly increasing the prices. Now the base model with the 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage comes at $529 US. That's a bit higher, actually considerably higher than the previous models of OnePlus, but still a lot cheaper than the competition like the LG G17Q that costs $749.99 unlocked. So here we go with the phone itself. The packaging is just like the other OnePlus devices. It's red and white. It's pretty clean and, colorful, impressive at the same time. It's got a dash charger, their proprietary fast charging solution with the red USB port that charges with 5 volts, 4 amps of output. And you have to connect the dash charger cable. So here is a red and white themed cable with USB Type A on one side and Type C on the other side. So this is not like a Type C to Type C like some of the latest devices have. Aside from that, you obviously have the phone, and what's included here are, firstly, the case. They got one of those like Jello style case. Not exactly premium, but always good to have a protection from the day one. And the user manual along with the SIM card tray removable pin, and that's all you get. Not precisely like a lot, but more than enough materials to start off with your phone. So here we go with the phone itself. Yes, that is the notch, and I used to hate the notches, but nowadays there are so many devices with the notch that I don't really care anymore. The front-facing camera is pretty high in resolution at 16 megapixels. Receiver and all the sensors are right there, hidden within that package, and there's no fancy 3D scanning face unlock kind of thing. It's just a camera enabled face unlock. And the screen you see is a 6.28 inches of Full HD plus optic AMOLED panel. On the right hand side you get the power key and the volume slider, the mute slider, whichever you want to call it. When you slide it onto the bottom is ring, middle is vibrate, on top is silent. Just like the one in the iPhone, you get to choose your ringtone situation without having to turn on your screen. On top, you have a noise cancellation microphone. On the left-hand side is a volume rocker with the SIM card tray that can host up to 2 SIM cards at the same time. Sorry, no microSD card. And on the bottom, you get the USB Type-C port, speaker, and the 3.5mm headphone jack survive. And a microphone is right next to it as well. The rear is even more interesting, of course, with the dual camera. 16 megapixels and 20 megapixels. They both come at f1.7, and the main lens has OIS plus EIS combined, is capable of 4K 60 frames per second capturing, along with HD 480 frames per second super slow motion. LED flash right there, fingerprint reader, OnePlus logo, and designed by OnePlus is marked on the bottom. The glossy bag you see right now is only one of the options. It comes in either mirror black, matte black, or silk white. That's white plus gold trims here and there. And enough with the talking, let's go through a set of processes. You see the font selection, Roboto or OnePlus Slate, which is recommended, so we're going to go with that one. Next. And we are done. So what you see here is called the Oxygen OS. It's their own system. Based on the stock Android, it's pretty clean, but they added up some features like alert slider, buttons right here. The navigation bar over here can be swapped. So the order of the buttons can be swapped to either back home multitasking or the other way around. And the navigation bar and gesture, you can hide them or opt in for a gesture-based interface like swipe home, swipe and hold for the multitasking panel, and swipe from either left or right corner to get back to whichever screen you were in. Also, you can customize status bar with battery style, display network speed, or screen calibration of the display, sRGB or DCI-P3, and custom color of cold or warm color temperature. Along with that, there's a setting for the notch display. At least they're being honest about the notch thing. The notch display, you can decide to show the notch area or hide the notch area. So if you decide to hide it, it's going to be painted in black so you don't notice it, at least visually, that the notch was ever there. So whichever apps that you get into, the notch is going to be hidden. Even in the third-party apps, you only get to have the white notification icons over there. The rest of the specs are pretty much the standard for a flagship device. Snapdragon 845 octa-core processor with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, or 8GB of RAM with 128GB of storage, or 256GB of storage. The prices break down as $529 for the base model, $579 or $629 for the flagship, the top tier model. One of the notable upgrades from the 5T is the Splashproof capability. This is not IP rated. People presume it to be IP54, not completely water submergible, but should be able to survive through, a splash of water or just like few raindrops. With 3300 milliamps of battery, the number doesn't sound like a lot, but the last few models had a pretty good optimization, so I'm having a big hopes for this guy's battery life and the photo quality. The 5T was pretty good with its photos. So that was the OnePlus 6. We'll be back with the review very soon. Stay tuned. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.